Tag and Brag Nation and Rocky fam, welcome back to Plot Chronicles. Now let's recap a little bit. So last week we moved an elevated hard blind into position. We planted the whole field in corn. We showed you our corner pocket XOP ambush, and we showed you how we were gonna get in and out. Santa's field is money in the bank. This week, we are going just over the hill. We're moving in a little bit closer to the bedding area, and we're talking about our micro kill clover plots. Clover, man. Doesn't that grow just about everywhere? It's funny you brought that up, but it is easy to grow in a lot of different places, and that's why we're talking about it on this week's episode of Plot Chronicles. So clover is a perennial, meaning that you plant it one year and it will grow for a couple years after that without replanting it. Clover is a fairly easy food plot to plant. It doesn't require a lot of heavy equipment. It's fairly easy to maintain, and that's why a lot of the poor man or no-till plots are based on clover. Clover is also extremely nutritional to not only deer, but turkey, rabbits, and other wildlife that eat it. It's typically the first thing that comes up in the springtime, and in the early season, and especially in the summer months, the deer absolutely love it. So we are gonna show you how we utilize these little micro clover plots to our advantage. But first, we got another one of those big boy blinds to move. And this one's heavy, so it's gonna be no joke. Let's go. Now it's time to do chores. We're gonna try and move that. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Over there.
I don't know how we're gonna do it. I can't go anywhere near this, or I'll be gone.
Yeah, you're not gonna. I honestly think this thing almost needs to go right on the edge. It'd be nice if it was in a little bit, but you're kind of. Maybe tuck it like right in here. I mean, you're gonna have to prune a little bit, but you could do a little bink and be relatively blocked already coming in from the bottom.
On this side, and you gotta scant this over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you cock it just a little bit, so that your right side you can shoot out of.
Yeah.
And the front you shoot out of. The left you're not really doing anything with. I mean, still can
Tuck it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because then, yeah, we can just clear this, and you can cut a little path. We can wall that off a little right there, and you're in and out lickety split.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know how. I'm trying to figure out how that's gonna get moved with that heavy ass tractor anywhere around here.
The only way we know if it's gonna sink or not is if we try. But if we ain't gonna try, then let's go do something else. We're giving it an attempt. We've gotten to the point of the good old college try. We got past the point of we can't do this, and now we're at the point of let's do this. And we're gonna do this shit. Good old Mahindi. So what do we do now? Measure it up first?
How high do your forks go?
Watch the tree. What do you think about this move?
It should be a better accessible move. But it's not done yet. You're good. You got 3 feet.
The good news is we got Dean to come in here with the tractor and move it.
You gotta go left.
Despite it being a little muddy.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can probably spin in, back up. That way the after the clutch is that way. You're good on the ground right now. Spin it to where you want it, lift it up.
Yeah.
You gotta worry about getting it up first.
Yeah. That's what she said.
Alright, stop. What do you guys think? I'd say back up and then bring it into where it's going to be.
Frowned upon.
You can shoot them out of the roost.
Oh yeah, we're back, baby.
It's just unethical.
We are back.
Not fair.
Got the view from up here.
I don't think it's a ticketable.
Yeah, this is, I think this is better as well. Getting in and out will be much easier. You got shooting right to your left, right here, right into those apple tree, or to the right, I'm sorry, right into those apple trees where they typically come out anyway. See all in front of us. It's good, man, it's good. It's good. What's not to like about this? See at dark.
You got any groundhogs you can shoot out of here?
But you're in range. You are in range. You're eating under that apple tree, you can shoot them. Let's figure out how to block this thing off. Get some rubbish. Make like a tunnel. We gotta trim this hedge right here. Get that out, get some of the other things out. Gonna have to patty up some of the windows. But we got it. Mission accomplished. Clover plots, clover plots, clover plots. So important, and we strategically use them here on our property in New York. And we have them for mainly 3 reasons. Number 1, they're cost effective. You invest the first year, you put in a nice clover plot, and then after that, for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, you're gonna have a great food source, and all you're gonna have to do is mow it and occasionally spray the grass and broadleaf out of it. And if you get some bare spots, you can go in and reseed maybe in years to come if you need it. But for 4 to 5 plus years, you're gonna have a great food source. Number 2, we have found that clover usually does the best out of anything in some of our lower quality soil food plots, or maybe food plots that stay a little bit more wet that other stuff doesn't like. Clover does great in. So it's a great choice when you plant turnips or whatever you may plant and you just find that it's just not doing well. Try clover. It's a great choice. For lower quality soils, that's what we have found. It's also a great choice for smaller food plots because it can withstand all the browse pressure, where maybe turnips or beans or corn is just not going to last, and you're not going to get the production out of it out of a small food plot. The deer are just going to mow it down. And number 3 is the nutritional value of clover. You're going to give the deer the high protein they need in the spring, summer, late summer, while the does are nursing fawns and bucks are growing their racks. And you're going to get a great opportunity to hunt this early season in archery. So these can be great archery spots because we tend to use them back in the timber or a little bit closer to cover, where usually our smaller plots usually end up being. So we get a lot of daylight photos even closer to deer season in these clover plots because the deer are closer to their bed and they're transitioning out to bigger food. So super, super effective and a great choice, like we said, for putting in smaller food plots if you don't want to spend a ton of money. Look at Clover Whitetail Institute Imperial Blend. It's outstanding. It looks luscious right now, and the deer are already hammering it. This particular clover plot we have placed back in the cover. A lot of our crabapple and apple trees are in this area, and our destination food, we got about 2 acres of corn up on the hill and about another 3 of corn and beans down in this lower field several hundred yards behind us here.
surrounded by cover. This is an awesome plot that we're gonna catch deer. We've already been catching bucks in here, eating throughout the summer, and we're gonna get daylight bucks in here early season. We just moved in the last couple of months this redneck blind in this spot so we could enter very easily from the road. It's not a far walk in here. We're gonna wall it off a little bit so we can slip in, and this is an awesome spot to catch daylight deer cruising as they're coming off the cornfields or going back into bed. This is gonna be a dynamite spot here in early October. I cannot wait to hunt it. Clover is looking outstanding. Gonna have to come in maybe and spray the grass out of here in the next week, and then we'll come in again with the Imperial Clover from Whitetail Institute and just fill in any gaps. If I might till a little strip on the edge here just to get it nice thick clover and let it ride. The bucks are loving it right now. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I have just come back, way back in the timber on one of our micro remote little clover plots, and this is very close to a lot of bedding area. Way back in the timber, these bucks in particular will come way back here to bed. This little plot is not near an edge of any sort. All the ag fields and big destination fields are quite a distance from here, but this is an incredible plot to hunt on when you have the right opportunity. So we have an XOP stand hung in a hemlock tree about 15 yards off this little plot, and it's on the north side of the plot, and we will only hunt this with a south wind, but a lot of these deer bed way back in this swamp and back in these hemlock bottoms, and this XOP stand provides an opportunity to get in here in October and get a shot at one of your hit list bucks before they start rutting. They usually like to hit this plot before they head out to the bigger fields and their other food sources. So they'll get up out of their bed and they'll meander their way through. They almost always like to hit at some point this plot before they make it out to the big field. So it worked for me 2 and almost 3 years ago on a buck we called Nipsey, the biggest buck we've ever shot on this property, who David ended up getting in November, but we had him pretty patterned here late September, early October, and on the second day of the season he did exactly what we want him to. He came up out of his bed somewhere back in that swamp, and he came out here to feed before dark, before he transitioned out to bigger fields, and I shot right over his back. So it worked. I just didn't fulfill my end of the deal, but I'm gonna spray this clover plot here in the next week or two, get these grasses out of here, but it looks excellent. We're just gonna keep it lush, and these deer are in here all day long, popping out of their bed to eat in this plot and graze a little bit. But we normally only hunt it with a south wind, and normally a windy day. Windy day in October is the perfect day to get in here and come up over this ridge in the hardwoods, sneak down into the stand, and get in early for a good afternoon sit. Dynamite spot. Hopefully a buck is using this food plot here at the end of the summer.
I'm telling you guys, these clover plots can be dynamite in the right scenario. Dean literally had 180-inch deer in the broad daylight on the second day of the New York bow season. He had them dead to rights because of one of these plots. Ooh, yeah, that one hurts. All right, so to recap, we moved another blind, and this was to create better access for us in and out of this food plot. We planted Whitetail Institute clover, which looks phenomenal. We've mowed the clover, and the deer are already hammering it. Oftentimes, these micro food plots are so overlooked, but think about it. These bigger deer don't love to be around a lot of activity. So you can imagine some of the destination fields, they might be a little skittish going into those during daylight hours. But one of these plots, secluded and back towards his bed a little bit more. And don't just think about these micro food plots in relation to other food plots on your specific property. Think about how you can plant these micro food plots in correlation to some of the bigger destination fields on neighboring properties. Now we're playing the game, aren't we? Try and utilize your trail cameras to tell you when the daylight activity is happening so that you can slip in there on your ambush. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for coming with us on this week's episode of Food Plot Chronicles. If you would, hit that subscribe button for us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Next week, we are going to be going to what we call the front field, which is literally the first ever food plot that was plotted on Camp Cutlet ground. Tag and Brag Nation and Rocky fam, we will see you right back here next week on episode 3 of Food Plot Chronicles. I knew Clover Plots could be deadly. I just can't believe Dean missed that shot. I mean, it really wasn't even close. Did he just pull it up high or something? Yeah, I guess it worked out pretty good for me.